he was a really good kid until he hit like middle school.
Kind of started hanging out with the wrong crowd. You know, doing the normal wrong crowd things. Started to smoke some weed, you know, drinking and fighting, things like this in middle school. And I wasn't raised that way. Because I wasn't raised that way, they knew I needed a change of scenery. So they actually took me out of Coons Miller Middle School, moved me to Cherry Creek to live with my uncles, and put me in a private school, a private Catholic school. Uniform, tucked in, khakis, white button-up polo shirt, black belt, everything, all of this. It was just a whole different change of scenery, and at first I rejected it. And it really wasn't fitting in comfortably there until I met Miss Washington. Talk is cheap. That was her motto all the time. If you're going to say something, do it. She took me aside and said, you know what, you need to get into basketball. These group of kids that are in basketball are these groups of kids that you really haven't been feeling welcome around, but as soon as you get to know them, I know you'll feel comfortable. Ended up being one of the best experiences of my life. And our basketball team was good. We made it to the state championships. And I remember right when we made it to playoffs, she was going through some health issues. It was like overnight, if I can remember right. Overnight, she had a heart attack, and she passed away. And that was real hard for me because that was who I really connected to at the school, and that's how I ended up getting the Talk is Cheap. Just because if it wasn't for her, I may have never been open to that experience and trying new things and finding sports like I did. And from that moment on, I was hooked in competition. I ended up having my son in high school my senior year. I kind of freaked out a little bit, went and got my GED, and wanted to start working right away. But I still had that itch to compete. And I was still lifting, I was still working out, just didn't know for what. I went to a couple gyms to try out MMA fighting. And then I decided I wanted to lift more weights, and I got into powerlifting. I was training for my first powerlifting meet. Just was kind of all over the place, didn't know what, but wanted to compete in something. And then Eddie Canoza, the manager of the rec, suggested, why not do a bodybuilding show?
128.
87, baby.
If you just want to throw a bag right there, because I have to go get tanned, but just so we have that spot and we're in the light with the mirrors. Decided not only is nobody going to have a body like mine, you know, that's what I train for all year. On stage, everybody's is unique. Definitely know mine is, and feel confident about it being the winning one. I also know my hair is going to be unique also. So
I noticed his appreciation and his enthusiasm for weightlifting, and I too have that. And I kind of took a liking to that, and we kind of were throwing around the idea of bodybuilding. You could just see like, hey, you know, that could be kind of a cool thing.
And so I agreed with it, picked a show. There was a year later. I did my first show. My whole family came and watched me. It was the Mountain States Peak Performance Championships. And I didn't do the novice, so I went right into open and won. And from that moment, I was hooked. At the time I was working for King Soopers, that's where I started out of high school, and promoted very quick, got a very good job, 20 an hour manager position at King Soopers, and I just got this promotion, and I worked hard for it, promoted within a year to it, and it was in the midst of getting ready for this next show, the Natural October in 2009, and so that was extremely hard because manager positions, you have to be there 40 plus. Plus I needed to be able to train 3-4 hours after that. So, and then my son, you know what I mean? I have a boy who looks up to me and wants to be with me. So those three things were like almost full-time jobs that I was all juggling leading up to the show in '09. I believe it was my supervisor that asked me, I think he just asked me making small conversation. He said, where do you want to be in 5 years? And at that moment in his office, I kind of realized like I'm giving 40 hours plus a week towards something that I'm not passionate about at all. And I noticed a lot of times you just kind of get in a position where you get comfortable. You see a decent paycheck, you start buying more things, you just get really comfortable, and you really just let go of what you're really passionate about. And I didn't want that to show that to my son. I want to show him that you can also go towards something that you're very passionate about. And I knew doing that I was going to have to give it 100%. And I knew it was going to be something in the fitness industry. And the one thing I knew 100% for sure was the bodybuilding. So started training for my next show. Decided to do the natural Colorado. Did things a lot differently, food-wise, training-wise, and came in quite a bit bigger, about six pounds bigger and leaner. A lot of people are shocked to hear this. I have never once counted a single calorie. Very low carb, about 20 a meal, and I know that that's half a cup of rice. So anytime it's time for me to eat or make a meal for an hour from now or something, I'll take a half a cup of rice, and I know that's roughly 20 grams right there. And then if either cook eggs to go with it or take the meat that I already had made in the fridge and prepared. I got another win there in the open. That's when I kind of started getting a lot more attention towards me in the bodybuilding community, and I just wanted bigger and more shows.
My concern was the whole money aspect of it, which is still one of my concerns. If he ever goes pro, that'll be really good for him, but right now it's just really tough because he's not making any money at it.
There's a lot of food, a lot of supplements, a lot of things that go into it. That's why I say I can't do this without my mother and grandmother. They've supported me so much.
I've been financially supporting him, so him and his son, while he does this, because it's very time consuming.
So I went into those shows broke. Won at the Warrior Classic, first place. Actually moved up, went to the middleweights. But by this time, when I told you I first got more attention after the Natural in 2009, I had now gotten sponsored by Supplement Giant.
And I think he's a great representative of like our store and the sport.
A lot of people do it, because it's a job or it's a career. He's got focus. This is not something that he wants to just do. This is not like just a job for him. The reason why we pick him is because of his passion for the whole thing.
We just help him out with, like his, his supplement needs, and then also like paying for some of his bills for competing.
I'm a natural bodybuilder competing in mostly drug open shows. Drugs it's kind of part of the sport.
And he takes a lot. He does protein drinks, he takes protein pills, and he takes, and he says it's all healthy. I do a natural show a year, and I do that not only for my own reputation, but to also give family peace of mind. I'm concerned about all the supplements that he takes, because I don't know anything about it. They know some about the sport. They know that drugs, steroids, supplements are all part of the sport.
So we have to trust that he knows what he's doing, even if we don't understand it.
I always think big blues, my son's big blue eyes. And this is the picture I was talking about. Because I think about him looking up and just looking up, just not doubting shit, just looking up, just happy, just to experience things. My son is definitely priority. At every show, I'm thinking about my son. So he's such a happy kid, such a kind, just, there's no negativity that ever comes out of him. It's just amazing to see that. So it's like, if he can be like that, maybe part of that I would like to think
is part of the example that his mother and me are showing him. So I need to continue that. You know, nothing's going to bother me. I'm gonna be happy, enjoy it, and be just excited about everything. And I try and feel like that on the day of the show. It just helps to see some pictures of him, some goofy faces he's making or something. Just puts me in a good mood. Reminds me what I'm doing. I have to support him, and I want him to be happy and be able to live life how he should. Whatever I'm going to end up doing in the fitness industry, to be successful in that, go 100% towards it, becoming a pro bodybuilder, like he loves the bodybuilding. He'd do every pose, and he's just all about it. He likes saying, my dad's strong, you know, my dad's like a superhero. So that's very motivating to me, to want to continue that and give him something positive to look up to. You know what I mean? It's very positive for him to look up to. And leading a good example for him is very important, and I feel like the bodybuilding is a way for me to do that health-wise, goal-wise, will-wise. The will you have to do these shows is through the roof, and you cannot give up on anything. You have to have the strongest will in the world to do bodybuilding, and it's teaching him that. If he sees me do that, it's going to teach him to live like that. I have to lead by example. You know, talk is cheap. I was backstage warming up for the finals. Somebody came up to me and they said, "Okay, we are so sorry, but we cannot get your CD to work. Would you like us to play house music, something that we have?" And right away I knew my answer. I actually laughed and I said, "We were actually just talking about this. I'll do no music." I said, Arnold and Franco, these guys that I look up to, and they didn't have music, so I'll be okay.
Third place is Thomas Bonnett.
I really liked the way I looked. I took third. No, I took third at this last show. I liked how I looked muscular-wise. Leanness-wise, I need to make some adjustments now. But the cool thing about it is this was the first year of my competitions that not a single judge has told me a weak point. Judges are telling me, "You beautiful shape, you come in lean, even leaner, nobody's going to touch you." I'm obviously not happy about the third, but I took the positive out of it, and in a way I am happy because I learned things. I learned now how to come in my biggest looking. Now just need to adjust the leanness. And if anything, I kind of feel bad about the other guys at Colorado because I'm definitely not accepting third. So it's upped my training. Yeah, I thought I was intense before, and it's a whole new level now.
He's decided it's the way he wants to go with his life. He's finally got a purpose.
This is what I should be doing. One of those things that's 100% sure, just not even, you don't even have to question it. And I would not have found that if I didn't have my son. Things didn't happen the way they were. The struggles that I do go through now, the struggles my family goes through now, my son goes through now, it's all gonna be part of something, and just helps build to that, to whatever it's gonna be. Shapes who you are. No regrets at all, ever. So.
Did you see me on stage? Oh man!
Yeah.
A new one. $3,000. Hey, you too. Thought it was good? Huh?